have a block, put it underneath your hips. A sofa cushion, a blanket, or a towel rolled up will suffice. Get out the little fidgets, your hair out of the way. Move your shoulders a few times, up, down, and back. So my intention for these Friday morning classes is that we go slow and gentle and take it easy. So let's start that here and now. Grounding into the base of the pelvis, with your connection to the earth. From that solid support, rise up. The center of your being. The top of your head reach to the sky. And when you lift your posture like this from the ground up, notice the quality of your breath improves. As you have more space, more utility to work with. Full body breaths. Using the abdomen, the diaphragm, full capacity of the lungs. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Just rise and fall with the breath. Rise and fall with the thoughts. Waves of emotion. Just present to it all. Remember, you're here to gently hold yourself. To restore a sense of ease and balance into your body, into your practice. Do that for the body, the mind will naturally follow. Continue to broaden across your chest. Lift your inner gaze to the third eye center. Harness that meditative focus to be here and now. Present in your intention, body. That there's nothing to diminish, nothing to push down, nothing to numb out, ignore, deny. Really are most powerful when we allow ourselves to fully feel everything that we can possibly feel. Whether that's sensations of stretch or strength in the posture, doubt and courage in our minds as we flow. Any worry that comes up, joy. All these things are always, existing in opposites, extremes, through the full range. So the yoga helps us to experience that full range that is life, that is inevitable. Authentically, genuinely, purposefully. is your purpose as we round out this final month of quarantine, indoor at-home practice? What do you want to continue carrying through, or what perhaps would you like to shift as we enter this second month? Physical isolation, yet still socially connected through this practice. Plant that seed in your heart between your palms, join them together in a prayer. Notice the calm that you've already cultivated in your energy body just by sitting here for about 5 minutes or so, breathing, meditating. Bow your head into your heart, central altar of the body as a house, center of your circumstances, personal responsibility, crossroads of consciousness. And interlace your fingers and stretch your palms forward all the way up. And draw some little circles on the ceiling with your cross-reference points in the hands. The inner wrist to the base knuckle of the pinky and the fourth finger. Equally press up both those points toward the ceiling as you draw these little circles. And then the outer wrist to the thumb and index finger, base knuckle, the center of the wrist, the middle finger, base knuckles. Pause in the center with your hands right above your crown and inhale to lengthen. Exhale, round your back and send your hands forward like a cat. Inhale, lift up. Breathe into the tops of the lungs and exhale. Fully empty out all the way to the base of the pelvis as you hollow out. Inhale, extend, expand, fill up. Exhale, flex, contract, empty out. Bring your hands into your heart from there so you can switch the interlace on the fingers. And inhale, send your hands up. Little circles, go the opposite direction. And just notice if you have to really think about that, right? Getting over our automatic habits and patterns takes some real awareness. And then reverse from there. So make sure you're exploring that unbeaten path just as much as you are to the well-treaded path all throughout your practice. Inhale, center, lift up. This is your seated cow. Exhale, round to seated cat. Press those cross-reference points forward. 2 more times. Inhale up. And exhale, round your back. 1 more. Inhale, hands to the heart as you sit up tall. Sweep your arms all the way out and up. Exhale, bring your hands all the way down. And come off your seats. Make your way to a tabletop. Stack your bones. Turn your hands in and meet the tips of the middle fingers. Where your wrists are here are the outer boundaries of your shoulder width distance. So pivot on the inner wrist points to angle your fingertips forward from there. And then bring your knees just a little closer together from hips width. Inhale. Send your right leg straight back behind you, toes flex downward. And then really broaden the collarbones as you beam your heart forward and anchor your hands into the mat. Big inhale. Exhale, tap your right toes down, back, and across your left shin. Gaze back to see the foot. So you have this really nice C curve on your right side. You can feel that lateral stretch. Now bend that back knee to inhale, draw it forward and up towards your right elbow or tricep, so out to the side. And then exhale, tap it across. Lateral stretch. A few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more times with your breath leading the way, so you can find a nice consistent rhythm. Inhale, extend the right leg straight up and back behind the hip. And then place the toes to the mat behind you. Inhale, send your left arm up and twist your spine. Keep rotating your inner right thigh upwards and maintain your hips on the clock. 3 and 9. Exhale, thread this left arm all the way under and through. So this is rolling panda pose. You're taking it into a spinal twist. Bring your left temple, side of the head to the mat. And if the mat's feeling a little too far away, if you have to struggle to rest down, use a block or a pillow to prop up your head. So you can really get that left arm nice and grounded, heavy, and relaxed to the earth, as well as the top of the hand, fingernails. And extend back through your right heel. Keep your hips on the clock. So you have this steady, even base of a pelvis through which you lengthen and revolve around the central line. As you work deeper into your spinal rotation, and let that gaze follow, drawing upward. Use your right fingertips on the mat to just give you leverage to stay balanced, to not roll your panda all the way over onto the back. Just send that breath into the inside of the left shoulder blade, down through the outside of the arm. One more full breath. Inhale, unwind. Bring yourself back to all fours. Quickly measure out your shoulder width distance again in your hands. And your hips over your knees. You'll draw your knees in just a little closer together from there to help you balance and pulse. Inhale, extend the left leg back. Toes flex down. Draw your core muscles into your low back body, and as well a little bit through your lower frontal rib cage. Big breath in. Exhale, tap those left toes down and across over to your right. So you can feel that nice left side body stretch in the C curve. Bend the left knee and inhale, draw it up. To your left elbow or tricep at the side. Exhale, tap it across. A few more times with the breath leading the way. Anchor into that mound of your thumb, both hands, base of your index finger, and so like your two strongest roots in your hands. Really feel connected there to the mat to ensure that you're not dumping your weight into your outer wrists and then losing your connection to your core line of strength. So press down into all those cross-reference points. Last pulse here, C curving through the left side. Inhale, extend the left leg straight back behind the hip. Exhale, place the toes on the mat. Keep your hips on the clock. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Let that heart sing out. Twist into your center line. Feel the inner rotation on your left thigh as you press some energy back through the heel. And then rebound it forward on the top of the head. To exhale, rolling panda, thread it through. And add in a block if you need some extra support there so you don't have to stretch your neck or stress your neck is what I meant in order to enjoy the twist. So anytime you're in a posture, just really want to check in with your alignment and then most of all your breathing. If your breathing is good, you're in a good place in your pose. If the breathing is limited, if you feel you're huffing and puffing at all, that's a cue to you to back off a little bit. Find that place where you can really take deep quality breaths. A few more cycles. Belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, fill up. Chest, ribs, belly. Exhale, empty out. One more breath to the inside of that right shoulder blade, the back of the heart. Inhale to come out. Come back to table. Full breath. And check in with your measurements again. We'll go back to hips width distance from here between the feet and the knees for downward dog. So you can always measure that out by turning one foot in. Its length will give you your hips width distance, or you can always really quickly just walk your hands back. Take your two fists together at the center of the inner arches of the feet. And that's your hips width. You'll notice that your outer edges of the feet are parallel. And really, it's right between the second and the third toes that's angling straight forward. And then you can walk your hands back forward from there. Shoulder width to find your dog. And then just take your doggy for a walk as you breathe and stretch here for a good few cycles. Sorry, I'm just looking at your guys' comments. So for all of those who are telling me you can't stay, guess what? These practices are up indefinitely on Facebook, so you can always come back and do it. Instagram, you only get 24 hours. Let's take a few more breaths here in a dog. Send your inner thighs back. tilting your tail high. As your heart melts back, your upper arms frame your ears. Spiral the armpits to the heart center. Two more breaths. Bring your knees to the mat and shift your weight forward to align the shoulders over the wrists. Your modified plank pose. It's a long line in your body from your knees to the top of your head. So feel your tailbone drawing down and back to the backs of the knees, and then your low belly lifts and tones up to the spine. Collarbones broad. Keep the press into your hands so you know you're really properly using your full shoulder strength, as well as your chest, your core, your upper back. Exhale, lower slowly, leading with your heart center. And stretch your toes all the way back once you land. Give your feet that same hips width distance as you had in your dog. Inner thighs up. Tailbone back toward the heels. Press your pubic bone forward and down into the mat, and inhale, lift your heart to cobra. Keep your quads strong, so you should actually feel your kneecaps are lifted off the mat. Back of the neck long. Imagine you're trying to catch a signal with the satellite at the crown of the head. Transmit that signal super wide and high. Another big breath in. And exhale to lower down. Take the hands behind your back and interlace your fingers, or if you have a strap, you could always use your strap to pull apart with your hands. Same effect using a hand towel, anything that you've got around that could work for the same purpose. Actively squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Plant your feet like you had two sandbags there, keeping them grounded into the mat. And inhale, pull back, lift your chest up and off the mat. Without crunching the back of the neck, keep it long. Breathe your belly into the mat. Feel that extra boost up as you inhale. Melting of the heart forward as you exhale. Tension out of the shoulders, the neck, the face. For two more breaths. And gently inhale, come down. Press yourself back to a child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. We're going to tap back into that yoga mudra shoulder stretch, but from child's pose. So you can interlace your hands again with the opposite thumb on the outside, or you can use your strap. Like we just did in Cobra, and pretty much the same thing here in child's pose. You might want to bring your knees a little closer together. That helps me at least to come a little bit forward. More onto the crown of the head versus the forehead as the arms come over. So you can definitely stay with your hips anchored and your forehead on the mat, or you can opt to lift your hips and roll onto the top of the head as the arms go over. Be sure you're not locking your elbow joints out, a little micro bend so energy can flow, so your upper arms and shoulders can be strong. Two more breaths. And then slowly come out. Roll yourself up to sit. And then inhale back into a downward facing dog. So again, measure it up. Just feel that extra space you've created. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up to three-legged dog. Take another couple breaths here to level off the hips. Frame the ears with the upper arm bones. Exhale, step through to lunge. Ground your back knee, top of your back foot. Flip your left wrist on the outside of your heel. Sorry, your right. I'm mirroring you. Natural fit of your body with itself. Feel your back knee dragging down and forward on the mat. If you have a block to use, you can prop it underneath your back thigh and just turn it back a little bit on an angle. And then use that solid block to keep you from going too deep into your hips as you inhale. Rise. Reach the arms up. Pinky fingers spiral in, palms back. Keep accelerating forward into the ball of your front foot. Tag that outer right hip back. Find your 3 o'clock position. You keep your heart centered between your back and your front. About 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale, release. Lift your back knee up and off the mat so you can stay on the block if you like it. Invite your left fingertips forward. Keep that hand in line with the shoulder, but it can really come past the line of your right toes. It's really more towards that top edge of the mat or even past it. Start to rotate your spine to your right. Lean into that central channel. That's the line you're revolving around as you twist. Right hand can come back behind you to the sacrum. You can half bind across your lower back, so you're getting more opening up through that right side of the chest and the shoulder. Or you can opt to reach your arm up. Or even take that left hand behind the base of the skull and then traction your neck. Pull your skull back. Open your throat center, especially at the top. Lift your chin off your chest. Press into your back left foot, toenail side down. For another 2. Inhale, start to unwind and release. Ground your back knee down. Grab your blocks if you're using them and tuck your back toes so you can lift your knee and step your back left foot a little bit forward and more out to the left side of the mat. So you're going to be at about 45 degrees back there, heels, hips width distance apart. Shift more weight forward into your front right foot. Spiral your inner left thigh back to bring that outer left hip around and forward to 9. Inhale, extend your heart forward. Walk your hands or blocks forward, so you're really just trying to max the length and the extension and take that into the forward bend. So keep an open heart. Keep your head on the spit. And press into that big right toe ball mound. Cross-reference that to your outer heel, and up to your outer left hip. And over from there into your right sit bone, down to your inner left heel. Cross-reference that point to the base, knuckle, pinky toe ball mound of your back foot. One more breath in pyramid. Fire up your legs, especially to the fronts of the thighs. Inhale, extend your spine. Bring your hands back. And step your back left foot forward. So standing forward bend, soft knees, belly to thighs. Check in with the distance, hips width. 2 fists, center the inner arches. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. And exhale to forward bend. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands all the way down. Pause for a breath with open palms, flipped wrists. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, like an origami crease at your hip joints, fold forward, accelerating into the balls of the feet. Inhale, take a half lift, extend your spine. Exhale, forward bend, and come into downward dog. Soft, supple knees. Micro bend the elbows. And inhale, lift your left leg up. Three-legged dog. You've got a few rounds of breath here to level off the hips. Feel the weight in the ball of your back, right foot, the balls of your hands. Exhale, step through. And flip your left wrist on the outside of the heel as you ground your back, right knee, top of your back foot. If you're utilizing your block, prop it underneath your back right thigh. Start in the tall setting. Give it a little bit of an angle back. Come on up. Hips on the clock. Tailbone down and back to 6, pubic bone forward to 12. Bring that big lift of your heart through your hands into the sky. Continue to tap into your roots, your foundation, pulling it all together. So low body strength to support upper body fullness of expression. Keep accelerating into the ball of your front left foot. Feel a nice lift at the center of the arch. You feel that similar tone and lift at the base of your pelvis. Exhale, release. Now lift your back knee up. You can stay on the block. Invite your right fingertips forward. Keep it in line with the shoulder. And then start to twist your spine to your left. Keep the head even between the shoulders. So from your right shoulder to your upper outer left eye, and then from your left shoulder to your upper outer right eye. You've got this nice balanced X. The head is right in the center. You can take your left hand to your sacrum or half bind the forearm across the lower back. Reach it all the way up. So breathe into that left lung through your right nostril. take your left hand behind the base of your skull and traction your own neck. Chin's close to the armpit. A few more breaths into that center line. Inhale, release. Shifting from here to pyramid posture. Tuck your back toes and lift your knee off the mat. And then step it up, just slightly forward and even more out to that right side. Spin the inner right thigh back. Bring more weight into the ball of your front foot, and especially that big left toe ball mound. Inhale, extend like a half lift. Walk your hands, blocks forward. So you're taking the whole length of that spine from your hip joints down into the forward bend. And when we talk about forward bend, we're really focused on the bend from the hips, which is really the first main fold that your body is designed to have. From your big left toe ball mount to your outer heel, find that connection. Over to your outer right hip. Cross over to that left sit bone. Down to your inner right heel. Up to that right pinky toe ball mound. Two more breaths in pyramid. Tone the tops of the thighs. Inhale, lengthen, bring the hands back. Step up so you're at the top of the mat. Standing forward bend. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen forward. Exhale from the hips, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale, hands down. Just close your eyes here so you can receive a couple deep breaths. Practice a little bit of balancing from here. So you start with your big toes together in mountain. Bend your knees like you're coming into chair. And then from there, lift your right knee up and take that ankle across the ledge of your left thigh. So you're in like a figure four shape with a nice right angle at the ankle. So flex the toes back. And then sit back into your hips. And then you're coming into chair. Inhale, reach the arms straight forward from your shoulders, thumbs up, palms in. We're all the way up and overhead. Armpits spiral to the heart. Continue to root into your big left toe ball mound. And hug your outer left hip in toward the center of the pelvis. As you sit deeper down and back. And that nice stretch on the outer right hip. One more breath. Inhale, start to rise. Now cross your right leg over. Fit your knees into one another so you can really feel the front of your left knee fit right into the back of your right. Turn your right palm up, bind the wrist with your left hand. Inhale, reach. Lengthen from the waistline and exhale, side bend over to your left. Keep squeezing the knees together, which will naturally bring a nice micro bend in. Give you a little bit more strength to hug up and in. Your inner thighs to your pelvic floor, your lower abs, your heart. Feel that lift. Inhale, rise up. Release the hands from the bind and exhale to fold forward. All the way down. Come to a table, keeping your thighs crossed. Draw some circles with your hips, going around the clock in both directions. And reverse. Come to center. Breathe right here. You can stay or put your hands on your blocks to help you boost up a bit. Let's get that outer right hip back. Put it at 3 o'clock. Left hip forward to 9. Another option is come up a little higher. You can come all the way up to a kneeling position. Arms up. Both hands come together to an interlace back of the skull. Elbows start wide and then come forward and up as you create that nice huge lift. Pulling the head back to parallel the hips forward. 2 more breaths. Toenails down into the floor. Inhale, release. Come down. Come into a cross-legged standing forward bend. Inhale, half lift. More weight into the balls of the feet. And exhale, bend forward. Inhale, swivel yourself all the way around. So we're just going to reverse the order from here. So you have your opposite foot crossed in front. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And come down, cross-legged tabletop. Draw your hips into circles on the clock. Reverse. And come back to center. So you can always stay right here. Or give yourself a boost up onto the blocks. Or come all the way up. Cross-legged kneeling. Put your hips on the clock so that left hip comes back. 9, right hip forward to 3. Inhale, reach up. Switch the grip of the hands, so opposite index finger on the outside. Start with your elbows wide, and then draw them forward and up. Big inhale, lift the sternum. Squeeze the legs together. And exhale up, over, and back. Keep aiming the base of your pelvis right down into the earth as you go up, over, and back. Another full breath. Inhale, rise, release. Come into cross-legged standing forward bend. Make sure you can feel that knee fit, the front of the right kneecap right behind the left. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Flip your right or your left palm, bind the wrist with your left hand or your right hand. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, side bend to your right. Revolve your right chest open. Those cross references in your body that can help you to stay in equilibrium. How's the breath? How's the mind? How's the emotions? Can you just coalesce them all to one point of focus here and now? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, just to start, bring your hands on your hips. Put your weight into that right foot. And then find your figure four to sit. Create that nice right angle at your ankle. Anchor to the big right toe ball mound. Inhale, arms forward or all the way upward. So just like in your down dog, your upper arms free in your ears, your armpits rotate into your heart. Draw your belly in and back. Soften your low frontal ribs a bit. And as you radiate your heart up and out through your hands in all directions, you're at the center of a sphere. You are a sphere. For 2 more breaths. Inhale, take it up. And exhale, release it all the way down into mountain. You can let your feet open back up to hips width. And receive a breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, take a seat. So I'll show this from the side just so you get a little bit of a better view. Egyptian pillow, both your blocks are in use here. This is the setup that I personally like. So you can play with this or you can shift it to meet your needs. Some people like this first block horizontal, or even on the lower levels. It's really up to you. I like it like that, between my shoulder blades, so I can really feel like my heart is coming up, which is really the intention of this Egyptian pillow pose. So you get a nice heart opener. You can bring your legs into bound angle or regular Shavasana corpse legs, totally up to you. So that second block is to support your neck and prop up your skull. Close your eyes once you get in and you're settled. Your palms rest open at your sides. So make any adjustments you need so that you feel really good and that you can really surrender here for a couple minutes. Allow yourself to feel, to think, to intuit whatever comes up. That's in support of your intention, wonderful. If it's something that takes you away from your intention, then be willing to let it go. Let go of that which doesn't serve you. It's easier said than done. It's a practice. Every little opportunity helps you to get better. Only holding the space, that which is life affirming. Sometimes those tough emotions, thoughts and feelings, that's part of the process of getting toward what is life affirming. So I'm going to take this opportunity to send you off into your final rest